Before Blind Kitchen, making TV seemed like an impossible goal for Oxenfree. And to get the opportunity now to have made 2 shows with Very Local is pretty insane.
Joe Harkenrider sending us an email saying he needs a production company who can do a TV show soup to nuts. And we were giddy, excited, like, yes, of course we want to do this. And then the reality set in. I'm like, okay, now how do we do the TV show? What do we even do for this?
Very Local is looking to hire a local production company, to hire local chefs, a local host, and local guest judges. We saw this as a huge opportunity to kind of celebrate and uplift the culinary scene here in Orlando, to nominate chefs that we loved and that we wanted to share with the world.
So we had to identify 16 chefs for 8 episodes of a 2-chef matchup. And because the concept of the show is making your signature dish and then trying someone else's and attempting to recreate it, we're working to pair up chefs that could reasonably work within the cuisines of the other person. And then once we think we find someone, okay, we're also working with a network and they need to approve the talent.
To make a show is such a huge undertaking, and I think our team really stepped up to the plate. Danny made a huge production design deck, talking everything from what the plants looked like, what the plateware, the cutting boards, color schemes, all of that stuff, and getting that stuff approved really early so that we had an aesthetic for the show.
At Oxenfree, I feel like that's always been something that we've always prioritized, is this makers at heart mentality where, yes, my title is brand director, but I also really love production design, and I like helping with concept development and creative pitches. And that was definitely a fitting into my big girl pants moment, where it was just designing an entire competition show set and interview frames and resetting a set over and over and over and over again.
8 of the production days, because it was 8 episodes, were the exact same shoot. We'd go to the location, set up all this stuff for the day of filming in the show, and then we'd have to tear it all down and then build it from scratch every single time. We made these production overheads to kind of show where the tables needed to be positioned for each phase, where the judge and the host would stand, where the chefs would stand. At the start, it was crazy and chaotic, but by the end, we were like a well-oiled machine, and it was like a dance, and people needed to know their spots.
The first project I worked on was Blind Kitchen Orlando. I'd never even been on set before. A little bit of intimidation initially, but coming out the other side, you realize oh no, everyone's really willing to give you their information. As well, I felt a lot more confident in my ability to work on creative, because I had to do it so often and I had to see it in front of me so often. I spent what felt like the next month of my life frantically trying to write good one-liner jokes and intros and openings for our host, Emily Ellyn. But the confidence that I got from knowing that people were willing to help you made me feel really good.
The Blind Kitchen was ultimately the reason that I left my job and tried to do freelance. I see that Oxenfree posts that they're looking for cam ops for a TV show, and I just thought, I want to do it. When I walked up, I was a little nervous because I wasn't sure what was going to happen or how everything worked, but I felt really confident through the day. That kind of production is how you really get to know a team, because over the course of a series, you're with the same people and seeing them work really hard, and you get to see how really great that they are at what they do. By the end of the show, I just already felt like I was part of the team.
It felt really good to come from the first day of doing it where you're terrified and so many things go wrong, to then being something that was once chaos is now harmony and organized.
It was such a cool process afterward to get to do these biopacks where we interviewed the chefs in their restaurant and got to shoot B-roll in their restaurant and really highlight their culinary journey in a micro chef's table way.
During the episode we filmed with Palm and Nikki, we were in this interlude moment where I was saying thank you so much for being on the show, and they both started to cry, which obviously made me cry. And they said thank you for doing something for this community that brings people together, and we're now best friends and we get to go do a pop-up of our food together and share this restaurant experience with each other. And there were praises for the crew and how comfortable they made everybody feel and how welcoming the environment is. And for that to be so important to me as a person and also to Oxenfree, it was just so special to get to do that. Not once, but 8 times. We get to foster that environment for people. And it was such a good reminder of like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I found people who support what I'm doing and want to do the same thing with me.
It was a really successful project in the end and went on to win a bunch of ADDYs at the American Advertising Awards, including Best of Film, Video, and Sound again. I never thought we'd win that a second time after Snap. And then to be nominated for an Emmy was such a big deal to us. And even though they didn't award our category in the end, it's still such a cool thing to be able to say that the show is Emmy nominated and that everyone that worked on it is Emmy nominated.
The end product was the show that we were all really proud of and had fun while we were doing it, celebrating Orlando culture with people we love working with and people who we love eating their food and restaurants we go to.
And we were also able to have such an awesome premiere party. Danny, Arthur, and Hannah planned this incredible event at View Orlando, and Danny and I came up with like all these different elements that would be showcased on the screen, and we had our speeches and like craft cocktails that were trying to be like Blind Kitchen inspired, but it was such a cool moment in time for us to really celebrate everybody. And I think to make this type of content, it takes a village. It's not just the crew, it's not just the team here at Oxenfree, like it's the families and the clients and everybody. So to have that whole village come together for one event and to celebrate everything that we've accomplished up to that point was just such a proud moment in Oxenfree's history. Absolutely.
I think you're in love.
We're a part of your community.
Are you gonna fail?
There's no compromise.
It just gave me a voice.
We want to be best in class.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.